In late September 2024, a routine air defense mission over Alaska transformed into a high-stakes encounter reminiscent of Cold War brinkmanship. What began as a standard interception of Russian aircraft by American fighters escalated into a risky and dangerous exchange that underscored the fragility of relations between Washington and Moscow. The incident, involving a U.S. F-16 Fighting Falcon and a Russian Su-35 Flanker E, revealed just how quickly ordinary patrols can spiral into moments that threaten international stability. The incident: a routine patrol turns hostile. On September 23, 2024, American radar operators detected a group of Russian aircraft entering the Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone, commonly known as the ADIZ. This buffer zone exists not as sovereign U.S. airspace, but as a defensive perimeter where unknown or unauthorized planes are identified before they move closer to the United States or Canada. An F-16 from the 18th Fighter Interceptor Squadron stationed at Alaskan Air Force Base was dispatched to intercept and shadow the formation, which included a Russian Tu-95 strategic bomber. Escorting the bomber was a Su-35 fighter jet, one of Russia's most advanced air superiority aircraft. What followed was an escalation that few had anticipated. The Su-35 suddenly executed what is called a headbutting maneuver, cutting directly in front of the American F-16 at dangerously close range and high speed. The turbulence alone was enough to create instability, and the American pilot was forced to take abrupt evasive action to avoid a collision. NORAD quickly condemned the maneuver as unsafe and unprofessional, making clear that such behavior does not reflect the standards of a professional air force. While the Russian aircraft never breached U.S. airspace, the message was unmistakable. Moscow is increasingly willing to test American defenses and challenge its resolve. What is an airspace interception? Airspace interceptions are a core responsibility of modern air forces. Their purpose is not to engage in combat, but to identify, monitor, and if necessary, deter aircraft that may pose a risk. The process begins with detection by radar systems, followed by the rapid deployment of interceptors tasked with establishing visual contact. Once the aircraft is identified, interceptors often shadow it to ensure it poses no imminent threat before escorting it out of the monitored zone. Although these operations are common, they become inherently dangerous when one side introduces aggressive or provocative maneuvers. Aircraft operating at supersonic speeds have little margin for error, and a miscalculation can quickly escalate from a near miss to a collision or even to the exchange of firepower. While interceptions are designed to protect sovereignty, their very nature makes them precarious, why Alaska's ADIZ matters. The Alaskan Air Defense Identification Zone holds immense strategic importance for both the United States and its allies. Geographically, it sits across the Bering Strait from Russia's Far East, making it one of the most active areas for aerial encounters between the two nations. The zone functions as an early warning system, giving NORAD precious time to respond to potential threats before they reach sovereign airspace. The importance of this region has only increased in recent years as Russian flights have become more frequent and more provocative. By flying long-range Tu-95 bombers escorted by fighters such as the Su-35, Russia not only practices extended operations, but also signals to the United States that it can project power directly into its backyard. For the U.S., each interception is not only about immediate defense, but also about demonstrating its readiness and commitment to protecting the skies above North America. The dangerous game of aerial provocations. The September 2024 encounter demonstrated how quickly routine shadowing can morph into something far more perilous. The headbutting maneuver performed by the Su-35 exemplifies the dangers inherent in these missions. By cutting across the nose of the American jet at high speed, the Russian pilot created a situation where turbulence and the risk of contact were significant. A split-second misjudgment could have led to a mid-air collision with potentially catastrophic consequences. History has shown time and again that such encounters can spiral into crises. During the Cold War, aggressive maneuvers between NATO and Soviet pilots nearly led to disaster on multiple occasions. In 1983, the downing of Korean Airlines Flight 007 by a Soviet interceptor after the airliner strayed into restricted airspace shocked the world and demonstrated the tragic consequences of miscalculation. Similarly, in 2001, A collision between a U.S. reconnaissance plane and a Chinese fighter near Hainan Island led to a tense diplomatic standoff that lasted weeks. These incidents remind us that provocations, however routine they may seem, carry risks that extend well beyond the immediate encounter. The aircraft, Su-35 versus F-16. The confrontation also highlighted the capabilities of two formidable fighter jets. The Russian Su-35 is among the most advanced in Russia's arsenal, boasting exceptional maneuverability, cutting-edge radar, and electronic warfare systems designed to dominate air-to-air combat. Its ability to perform aggressive maneuvers makes it particularly dangerous in close encounters. On the other side, the American F-16 Fighting Falcon remains a trusted workhorse of the U.S. Air Force. Although older than the Su-35, the F-16 has been continually upgraded and is equipped with a deadly arsenal of air-to-air missiles, including the AIM-9 Sidewinder and AIM-120 Advanced Medium-Range Air-to-Air Missile. While the Su-35 may boast newer technology, the F-16's versatility and proven combat record make it a reliable asset in interception missions. The presence of these two jets in the same airspace underscores the seriousness of each encounter. These are not outdated machines, but frontline fighters capable of delivering devastating firepower in moments. Diplomatic fallout and political messaging. The aftermath of the September incident followed familiar patterns. NORAD's condemnation of the maneuver framed it as a clear provocation and highlighted U.S. readiness to defend North American airspace. The message to both domestic and international audiences was straightforward. The United States would not tolerate unsafe actions near its borders. Moscow, on the other hand, took a more dismissive approach. Russian officials downplayed the event, describing it as a routine exercise conducted within international norms. This rhetorical strategy allows Russia to normalize such actions while presenting itself as calm and non-aggressive to the global stage, even as its pilots engage in high-risk maneuvers. For the Kremlin's domestic audience, the encounter is framed as proof of strength and defiance in the face of American power. In this way, the incident became more than just a dangerous encounter in the sky. It turned into a tool of political messaging for both nations, a fragile balance in the geopolitical chessboard. The Alaskan incident is just one example of a larger pattern of military assertiveness. Russian operations in the Arctic and the Pacific are increasingly conducted in cooperation with China, reflecting a growing partnership aimed at countering American influence. Earlier in 2024, Russian and Chinese bombers flew joint patrols near Alaska, underscoring that such flights are not isolated events but part of a broader strategy of alignment. Meanwhile, the United States continues to modernize its capabilities. While the F-16 remains effective, it is gradually being replaced by the F-35 Lightning II, which offers stealth technology and advanced sensor systems. Russia is responding in kind by investing in next-generation aircraft such as the Su-57. The technological race between these powers places added pressure on pilots, who must adapt to faster, stealthier, and more sophisticated machines while maintaining discipline in high-tension environments. From provocation to escalation. The greatest risk of such encounters lies not in the maneuvers themselves, but in the potential for miscalculation. A single collision or a defensive reaction mistaken for aggression could ignite a chain of events that spirals into a full-blown crisis. Training programs across the U.S. and allied air forces now emphasize not only combat readiness, but also the ability to de-escalate tense situations. Pilots are drilled in scenarios where unexpected and unsafe maneuvers are practiced, ensuring they can react quickly while avoiding overreaction. Yet even with such measures, the danger remains. The question haunting military officials is not whether another such incident will occur, but when. And when it does, will both sides maintain the restraint necessary to prevent escalation? What do you think? Are these Russian provocations a deliberate strategy to test U.S. defenses, or are they reckless actions by individual pilots? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, because we'd love to hear your perspective. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to hit that like and make sure to subscribe to the channel.